Rain hammered the pavement. Streetlights blurred, painting the city in streaks of gold and gray. She stood huddled beneath the awning of a cafe, her red dress a splash of color in the monochrome world. He saw her as he dashed by, a vision of warmth in the cold downpour. Their eyes met. Time seemed to stop. He forgot about the meeting, the deadline, the weight of the world on his shoulders. She smiled, a hesitant question in her eyes. He offered his umbrella, a shy laugh escaping his lips. That night they talked for hours. The cafe emptied, the rain subsided, but still they sat, lost in their own world. He was captivated by her spirit, her laughter, the way her eyes sparkled when she spoke of her dreams. She saw something in his intensity, a depth that hinted at a hidden tenderness. By the time they finally walked out into the now starry night, they were holding hands, a silent promise hanging in the air. It was the beginning, they felt it in their bones, of something extraordinary. He worked tirelessly, driven by a desire to provide her with the life she deserved. Days bled into nights. His phone calls became shorter, his visits less frequent. She felt his absence like a physical ache. His love was a lifeline, but one that seemed to be slipping through her fingers. She craved his touch, his attention, the man who had stolen her heart that rainy night. He saw her concern, mistook it for judgment. He accused her of not understanding his ambition, his drive. Every question felt like an accusation, every reassurance a painful reminder of the distance growing between them. The joy they once found in each other's company became overshadowed by his jealousy, his fear. He clung to her tightly, afraid to let go, yet pushing her away with his suspicions. The love they shared, once a bright flame, began to flicker under the weight of his insecurities. She loved him, fiercely and without reservation. She forgave his harsh words, his unfounded accusations, clinging to the memory of the man who had looked at her like she was the only star in his sky. But his jealousy became a cage, gilded with love, but a prison nonetheless. She felt suffocated, her own spirit slowly being extinguished. His calls became something she dreaded, his visits tinged with tension and accusations. His best friend, a silent observer to their tumultuous relationship, offered her solace. He listened with a kind smile and understanding eyes, offering a shoulder to cry on when she felt lost and alone. One night, after a particularly vicious argument, she found herself seeking refuge in his company. He held her as she wept, his embrace a safe haven from the storm raging within her. In that moment of shared pain and vulnerability, lines blurred, and she realized with a sickening certainty that her heart was no longer solely his. He received the job offer, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that promised to catapult his career to new heights. The location? Across the ocean, thousands of miles away. He saw it as a solution, a chance to prove his worth and return to her a conquering hero. He told her of his plans, excitement buzzing in his voice. He missed the flicker of despair in her eyes, the way she bit her lip to hold back words she couldn't bear to speak. He was blinded by ambition, by the promise of a future that now felt hollow without her by his side. The day he left, she stood on the platform, a silent shadow amidst the throngs of people. He embraced her tightly, promising to call as soon as he landed. As the train pulled away, he saw a single tear roll down her cheek. He mistook it for sadness at his departure, not the agonizing farewell of a heartbreaking in two. He wouldn't know until it was too late, that she stood on that platform with his best friend by her side, their fingers intertwined, her heart heavy with a betrayal that mirrored his own.